If you need any Xbox or PlayStation codes or any cheap PC games, use the referral link in the description. It will take you over to g2a.com. They already have a discount on most of their goods, and if you use the code CHES at checkout, you can get yourself an extra 3% off as well. Hey guys, how's it going? Ches back again, and welcome to episode number 13 of the second season here at AC Milan. We are on January the 1st. Transfer window time. We've got two players that want to leave. They are trying to force their way out of the club. They include Tonelli, the young centre-back that we brought in that hasn't seen as much first-team football yet as we'd hoped, due to the inclusion of Maksimovic now in the first-team squad, and also Gabriel, the 74-rated young goalkeeper that we've been thinking about moving on to call up one of the kids we have in the youth squad that we could bring up as a goalkeeper. This guy, Christian Bonaventura, he's only rated 57 currently, but has the potential, especially with a little bit of training, to get into the mid to late 80s. We also have Fabian Barros, who has his potential now of 89 to 94. Again, waiting for him to get a little bit older before we call him up. Although I'm tempted to perhaps call him up now and try and get him a loan deal in this window. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. Similarly with Giulio Camilli, he looks like he could potentially be a decent centre mid if he can get some first team football under his belt. He too can grow to the early to mid 80s. Currently, though, only rated at 51, so I'm not sure whether to leave these guys until they hit 17 and maybe get another boost. I'm not sure, but I'll take your guys' feedback on that. So we have currently a little bit of money, £11,500. We know for sure that we're going to need to replace Tonelli. I know I definitely need another centre-back. We have Mexes, who's retiring, Paletta, who we're trying to sell, and Rodrigo Eli. So Eli and Maksimovic and Romagnoli will be our only three centre-backs that I'm going to be using, because obviously Tonelli wants to leave, and we'll try and sell him or use him in part of a deal to try and bring in another centre-back. Gabriel, we know we don't need to replace. Donnarumma is not going anywhere. I'm still trying to move on Suso. I'm contemplating moving on Kutska now that Bretonnier started to embed himself in the first team picture, but I really like Kutska, so I might just keep him here because he's been such a good servant to us throughout this series to this point. But we've got a lot of players already. I don't know where else to strengthen because things have been going so well for us. We're top of Serie A, undefeated top of Serie A by 7 points after 16 games. We won our Champions League group convincingly. So I don't know where we need to strengthen other than just replacing Tonelli. I've had a transfer offer in here for Donnarumma, but I'm going to be rejecting it, from Southampton for 16 million. We do still have a handful of players we want to move on, including Gabriel and Tonelli now. But if I go... Ooh, well done, Ches. I did that last time I tried to do this in a video as well. I ended up going across the office. If I go into the Sell Players tab and I sort by status, you can see we have a number of players here already on the transfer list. I'm actually going to remove Bonaventura from the transfer list right now because he's established himself again in the starting lineup in that centre mid role. It's been very, very good for us. So we'll add Tonelli to the transfer list, and we'll also add Gabriel to the transfer list, and we'll see what happens with those two. So I'm going to need centre-back potential signings. At present, we have 81 rated Romagnoli and 83 rated Maksimovic as our two centre-backs. I'm torn because the first team is clearly good enough as it is to be able to perform on Legendary at the highest level. So I'm unsure what to do, whether to go out and bring in another youngster like Rodrigo Eli or to go all out, bring in another world-class centre-back if we can fund it, and then drop Romagnoli or Maksimovic, which I'm not overly keen on doing. So we're in an awkward position right now, but as always, I will take all of your thoughts in the comment section into account. Today, we'll be playing Napoli in the league on January the 1st, and the game against Bari at the end of the week too, and then we'll leave it there. We'll come back tomorrow with Palermo and Torino. Of course, during transfer windows, I always knock it down to 2 games per episode, so we have some time for transfer window stuff, rather than the normal 3 games per episode. Otherwise, videos would be 35 minutes long, and that would just be ludicrous. So we'll jump into the game against Napoli. Hopefully, we can get a good result. They're currently sat 6th in the table, a full 10 points behind us, but as you can see, no, not on the news tab. As you can see here, it's extremely close, from 2nd down to 7th. Only 3 points separate them, so if Napoli get a win against us, which hopefully they won't, but if they do, they could rise all the way up to 2nd, and Genoa maybe will close the gap on us as well. So we are away from home against Napoli too, so it's not going to be easy, but I'm confident that we can get a result here. Let's go and see if we can. Here's Napoli's starting lineup. Gonzalo Higuain starting up top, as we expected, in a 4-3-3. Insigne and Callejon on the outside. Dries Mertens, Alan and Hamsik in the midfield. It's a strong Napoli side. They gave us 2 very difficult games last year, and I'm expecting nothing different this time around. Elshar. Draw the defender in so we can get it to Verratti. I see space there actually for Berardi. We could be in immediately. Domenico Berardi. Oh, it's going to drop to Elshar, who's onside. We're in front after 2 minutes. I perhaps should have tried to shoot earlier with Berardi, maybe have a shot there, but I thought I'd try and take it past the defender. It didn't quite work, and he got a foot in, but it dropped straight to Elshar at the back post, who didn't give up on that. Started the move on this left-hand side, and in the end, he's there at the back post to give us a 1-0 lead. Couldn't have asked for a better start. Florenzi. Bonaventura's making the run down the line. We'll play him in. Get the turn in. I'm going to have to go back to Florenzi here. Just trying to keep possession and keep it away from the Napoli defenders at this point in the move because they have a lot of men back. You can see here just the line of blue shirts there. But back is in. Oh, I should have taken that a little bit further. The defender moved in a way I didn't expect and we had more space there than I thought we were going to. I could have burst into that gap and maybe tried to get a shot off on the right foot. But unfortunately, the two-star weak foot puts it high and wide. Here's Gonzalo Higuain. Oh, it's a lovely ball into Dries Mertens, who's timed that run to perfection and finds himself in the box. Lays it back to Hamsik, whose first touch lets him down. It could ruin the move. Catch that, Donnarumma. Oh, my days. Why has he not caught that? And again, palms it. Why did he not catch that? That was just a simple catch the ball into your chest. Why has he batted that away? That was really strange. Thankfully, the corner's terrible. Florenzi will bring this down. And actually, counter-attack. Bacca will make me the run and we'll play him in. Just get there ahead of Vlad Sirices and get the turn in. There we go, into El Shaarawy. Poke it through to Bacca before he goes offside. Mauri's in the middle. I don't fancy Mauri with a header, though, against those defenders. I need someone dropping or arriving on the edge of the box, and there wasn't anyone in that particular situation. Here's Bonaventura, though. Get it round to Verratti. Verratti in the box. Verratti with a shot. In the end, I think that comes off Mattia De Sciglio and goes straight to the goalkeeper. Allen. Down the line to Higuain. He's got Callejon at the back post. And the cross is perfect. Wouldn't expect anything less from Gonzalo Higuain. One of those really dangerous balls that are drilled across the 6-yard box. Defender, I pressed B to clear it, but he just either A, couldn't get there, or B, the CPU made him nervous about sticking a foot out and then poking it into the back of his own net. In the end, Callejon did the business for him. 1-1. De Sciglio. Verratti. Bonaventura. See Florenzi wanting to get involved going forward. Mauri, get the turn in, get it to Bacca quickly. Oh, he's past the defender. Carlos Bacca in to score for another game in a row, and he has done. He's buried it this time. An even better shot on the left foot. One in the first half, flew all the way over there. This one buries itself in the top corner. Nice turn from Mauri. Really good jink past the defender. He committed to go left, and we went to the other way. And I'll tell you what, that's a very good finish. He does only have a 2-star weak foot Bacca, but occasionally he does score a ripper with it. And there is an example of just that. 2-1 AC Milan. Nice little jink inside with a cheeky step over. We'll give this to Bonaventura, who'll take it in his stride and look for Bacca around the outside. Can we get a replica of the previous finish? Angle was a little bit too acute there, unfortunately. Went with that left foot again, but this time pulls it wide of the bottom corner. Got a free kick 31 yards out. Pretty sure I'm going to give this to young, where are you, Florenzi. Scored a 30-yarder not too long ago. We'll see if he can replicate that. The referee's going to tell the ball off for something. There we go. Someone's getting booked. Not sure who it was. Is it really the best of ideas to put tiny little Lorenzo Insigne in the wall? If I aim it at him and try and bend it, surely we can get it over Insigne and into the support post at the back and not the goal. Pato's on the breakaway. Insigne is burning those legs to try and catch me up, but he's run out of stamina. Goulam's committed to the challenge. Pato's going to turn back inside and look for Verratti here. We'll just lay it to Berardi in support. There's Jorginho. Oh, I needed someone else on the outside. Maybe Elshar can make that run. He has done. We'll turn inside and look for the finesse, but Gabbiadini gets a foot in. Oh, fuck my life. He's on the breakaway into Insigne. Goulam popping up in a right wing spot, the left back. What's he going to do, though, in this wide area? Romagnoli, oh, my God, that's a good cross, and Donnarumma just lets that hit a foot. I think he was just anticipating Higuain sticking out a lanky toe and trying to poke that home. Thankfully, that hasn't cost us. What a ball in from Goulam. Didn't expect that from the left back in the right wing spot, but he very, very nearly picked out that man Higuain to pick up Napoli's second goal of the game. Thankfully, though, they didn't, and we get a 2-1 victory. Right then, let's head back to the transfer window, see if we can't drum up some more cash. Any offers? Transfer offer for Jose Mauri. Reject. Southampton seem to be keen on my players. That's Donnarumma. Oh, and Sassuolo have offered for him as well. Donnarumma and Jose Mauri that Southampton have bid for now in this transfer window. Unfortunately for them, they're not getting either. They don't stand a chance in hell of picking up either of those players. 2 more emails, one of which is a transfer offer for Jose Mauri. Apparently he's in demand. Nope. Anyone that's 79 rated and 20 years of age is going absolutely nowhere, to be completely honest. Another transfer offer or 2 perhaps for Nicola Muru and Jose Mauri. Well, Muru is also going nowhere. And Mauri, again, obviously not going anywhere. Villarreal this time are the team that are interested. People always say, oh, why don't you just select reject all offers? But I like to see which clubs are interested in my players. So I always, go through them one by one. Verdi wanted to talk about contracts. Where are you, Simone? Let's sort by position. Simone Verdi. What is he? He's not on too much, I don't think, at the minute. Where are you? Simone Verdi. He's on 30 and he wants 50. Yeah, all right, I'll give you 50. That's not a problem. Right, it doesn't look like we're going to get any offers for players that we want to sell. So, we may do. No, Gianluigi Donnarumma again. This time Napoli. Clearly saw how good he was against them and decided that they wanted to try and pick him up. Sorry, boys. Not having him. On to Bari. Verratti into Muru to Jorginho to Verratti again, who eventually gets that under control thanks to the close attentions of the defender. Bacca will turn that defender and not fire us 1-0 up, but he does at the second attempt. Keeper can only palm it back into space. We scored after 2 minutes against Napoli. We had to wait all the way until the 3rd minute to score against Bari. Hopefully, we can build on this time around and not get pegged back by an opposition that is actually very, very good. Bari are bottom of the table with 6 points from 16 games. This shouldn't be the only goal of this game. Savas. Oh, Caputo rides that challenge. They're going to equalise. No, they're not. Donnarumma makes a great save. I could have sworn I was going to get the ball away from that challenge, but he just rode it, just stood there, and the ball just kind of rebounded off both of his shins and stayed at his feet. That's one of the best ways to try and keep the ball there I've ever seen. He just didn't do anything to try and keep the ball, stood there, let me tackle him, and just kept possession. Really strange, but thankfully Donnarumma was on hand to make a smart save, otherwise they'd have immediately equalised. Puto to Abosaban to Savas. Nice turn. He's going to go for the shot from distance, but it's well wide. I said at the beginning of the game, where we went 1-0 up after 3 minutes, that this was probably going to be a very one-sided game. In actual fact, Bari have knuckled down and done very well to reduce my ability to create anything offensively and actually have a couple of chances themselves. So fair play to them. They've done well in the first half to keep the score down to just 1-0, but whether they'll be able to keep that up for the entirety of the game, I'm not too sure. We've had a couple of games recently, the 5-2 and the 4-1, that didn't have many goals scored until the last 15 minutes, and then all of a sudden there was a goal explosion. I'm hoping that will be the case in the second half of this game as well. 1-0 at the break. Verratti to Jorginho, good turn. Get it to Verdi. I think my problem in this game so far is that I know Bari aren't very good, so I'm trying to force moves just because I'm kind of getting a little bit complacent. So I need to just take my time and play the right pass at the right time rather than trying to actually force the ball into a position where I want it to go. But Verratti's going to bring that down, and surely this will be 2-0, and it is. Emphatic finish from Marco Verratti. He was not going to miss that. Put a lot of power behind it on his left side into that bottom right-hand corner, and we do have a second goal. Now, is this the start of that goal explosion we were thinking about and talking about at the end of the first half? Really good finish, actually, from Marco Verratti. I'm really pleased with that. Rifling it into the bottom corner. It was already in the back of the net before the keeper even started to dive. Past him there, and then, I'll better dive now. No, that was just for show. He was beaten all ends up. 2-0 Milan. Given straight to Alessandro Florenzi, who's going to poke this to Simone Verdi, and his first touch could take him away from that defender, which it has done. Get it to Jorginho, and then on to Niang, who should be able to get away from the defender. It's on his shoulder, but will turn him nicely. Niang will look for the cross. It's Simone Verdi that was going to be underneath it, but it's going to drop to Verratti. Already scored one in this game. That was straight at the defender in front of him, though, but we could still end up with a chance. He's being pinged about something chronic here. We just need to get the ball on the floor, work it nicely, and find a goal-scoring opportunity. Okay. Or Simone Verdi can just ignore the ball completely. Never mind, we got it to him in the end, and he's still got the ball, and third. That's one of the weirdest goals I think I've ever scored. There was no structure to the build-up of that move whatsoever. But it worked. 3-0 AC Milan. Kutzka to Jorginho. We'll get this to Bacca. Just hold off the defender and get it through there to Suso, who could poke it for Jorginho or Berardi. It's Berardi, aimed at the near post, and Mikai is down well to make a good save, and Boateng gets it around the corner for a corner. See if we can get a fourth before the game's out. Good cross. Niang's underneath it, but Romagnoli threw himself at it, flew towards it, but couldn't get anywhere near it, unfortunately. And that's probably going to be game over. It was a very simple... Oh, well, they're getting a bit loose in possession. Is that a free kick? No, Niang was just really, really weak. They've been pretty poor in this second half, Bari, and we expected that. I said at half-time they probably wouldn't be able to keep up their defensive efforts all game long. And in the end, they weren't able to do that, and we do get a solid 3-0 victory. And it could have been a few more had we been able to actually take a couple more of our chances. 9 in total, 6 on target, and the 3 goals. Decent result though, 3-0 win, that keeps us top of the table. To be fair, we could have lost both of today's games and still stayed top of the table. So to get 6 points is very pleasing. We'll have a quick look at the league table to see how we stand right now. There is a transfer offer here and it's for Mbai Niang. I'm tempted to counter that at 15 and maybe take it. Because he just doesn't play for me that often now on Mbai Niang, and I could use the money to strengthen at centre-back, and maybe we could go out and buy a truly world-class centre-back. I'm not sure. Let's have a look at the calendar. Up next tomorrow will be Palermo and Torino. Now, I'm going out tonight, as in Friday night, the night you're seeing this, so I'm not going to have time to record Saturday's episode tomorrow before you see this video, and I can get feedback from this the comment section of today's episode. So I'm going to have to record tomorrow's episode ahead of time. So we'll play Palermo and Torino tomorrow, but I won't advance any further than Torino. So we've still got 2.5 weeks of the transfer window left, so I can take into account your feedback from Saturday's episode and today's episode Friday before recording Sundays. It's just an unfortunate scheduling issue where I had plans to go out tonight, have done for a while, and unfortunately we found ourselves slap bang in the middle of a transfer window where I need your feedback. So I'm going to have to record tomorrow's ahead of time, but that still leaves us plenty of time in the window. We'll only be halfway through, so there's still plenty of time to get some stuff done. Basically, the gist of tomorrow's episode will be trying to get rid of as many players as possible and raise as much cash as possible. But we are currently 7 points clear at the top still. 18 games played. Still unbeaten, 13 wins, 5 draws, 1 more game and we'll be exactly halfway through the league season. Bari still bottom on 6, Carpi on 9, Cesena on 10, and then there's a big gap of 7 points to Cagliari, who have a game in hand. So it's looking like Cesena, Carpi and Bari are getting cut off at the bottom already. To be fair, we're cutting everybody else off at the top so far this season. I couldn't be happy with how things are going, and hopefully we could get a good win in the Coppa Italia tomorrow as well to continue our good form domestically. That's going to be all for today's episode, guys. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel too to ensure you don't miss out on any further episodes. Of course, like I say, unfortunately, I'm going to have to record tomorrow's video ahead of time, so I can't take any feedback you give me today into account until Sunday, but I won't bring anybody in without checking with you guys first. Feel free to tweet me though. I will be available on Twitter to have some talking going back and forth about transfers. If you've got any ideas you immediately want to have me think about. So there's a link in the description to my Twitter. But for now, for Friday evening, thank you very much for watching. There'll be a Foot Friday episode later on tonight too, so make sure you're around for that about 6 o'clock. And I'll see you next time.